Hello, everyone, and welcome to my channel, The Business of Massage, where we discuss all things related to massage and business. My name is Julie Campbell. I'm the owner of The Business of Massage. My website is massagebusinesshelp.com, and you can email me anytime if you have questions or want to suggest topics at massagebusinesscoach@gmail.com. I do hope you will enjoy part 2 of this series, which is the anatomy of a great massage business website. The first part was covering how to gear your massage business website to your target audience, how to make sure you're focused on goals, and to include your business branding. Now we're going to move on to part 2, which is all about how to choose a website platform that supports excellent performance. I know this one sounds kind of boring. I will keep it short and sweet, unlike the first video. And hopefully you will find some value in it. Don't worry, if you've already chosen your platform, it's okay. You can make different decisions down the road, even if it's one that's not like numero uno the best. It's okay. I think as long as you're optimizing it as best you can, that's the most important thing. And just don't stress yourself. That's always my best advice. It's not worth it. You're doing the best you can, and that's what matters, right? The most important thing is that your clients can find you, that they can contact you, that it's easy for them. Like, those are the top most important things. But this hopefully will help you make decisions if you haven't already, and then choose the best thing for yourself if you're creating a new website in the future. All right, let's jump in. So today we will cover what I mean by website platform, how the choice impacts your website, how to make the decision, and a brief overview of the pros and cons of different website platforms. Okay, what is a website platform? It is basically the platform that you build your website on. Sometimes these are called a CMS or a content management system, or you have the website builder platforms like Squarespace and Weebly, which are kind of pre-built websites for you, or pre-built website components, which you can also find within WordPress. I'll discuss that more in a moment. The other thing you will want to understand, or we'll start with, is hosting. So you can think of hosting as the magical place where your website lives on the web. It's basically the server where your website files are hosted, and it's kind of like the place that you live in the world. It's the place that your website lives in the web. It's like its apartment or house. And you might be, if you're using Squarespace or Weebly, you're basically renting a place for your website from Squarespace or Weebly. Or if you use something like WordPress, then you probably have separate hosting, which is through something like HostGator or Bluehost or WP Engine. There's billions of hosts out there, and you're renting space from them unless you have a server that you pay for that's like yours only for your website. So typically you're going to be renting space from someone, whether that be included with your website builder like Squarespace or Weebly, or separately through a hosting platform. GoDaddy is another one that people use often. The host is really important. A lot of people don't think about this when they're choosing a host, but the host can have a huge impact on your website speed. So like how optimized the hosting that you have is can make it so that your website's faster or slower, how reliable it is. If your hosting isn't reliable, your website could go down or experience more issues. Also security, websites can get hacked, so your builder and your host have something to do with that. And then moving more towards the content management system or the website builder platform, you'll be looking at all of those things above, like speed, reliability, security, but then you also have to think about your user experience. So how is the website going to look ultimately? How will it function for your users? And then also your ease of use for the builder. So how easy is it going to be for you to create, update, maintain your website? And then finally, search engine rankings. The website builder that you choose can impact your search engine ranking significantly. Speed is a big factor in this. Mobile usability is a big factor in this. User experience is a huge factor for search engine ranking. So those are all things you'll want to think about. With Squarespace and Weebly, we will go into the pros and cons of each of these, but just a little general overview of each of these. Squarespace and Weebly and any other website builder out there that sort of comes with like predefined templates and just kind of drag and drop functionality are a little bit more limited. So they score really high, in my opinion, on your experience of building, because you can literally choose a whole entire website template and just plop in your information and good to go. You have a website. Where they kind of lack is that you don't have as much control over how they are going to do performance wise. So because they load this huge amount of code for those pre-built templates in, they tend to be a little bit slower. They have more kind of development back-end errors that you would have a hard time fixing on your own. They also come with limited functionality as far as search engine optimization. What you can do with those is a bit limited. Not that they're bad, it's just a little bit more limited. I think user experience wise, you still have plenty of options there. You know, you can create great designs, make sure that people know what they're supposed to do, you know, add your branding, all of that good stuff. So I think those are great for that. And also I think they're great if you're on a limited budget and you don't have a lot of technical skills when it comes to building websites. Squarespace and Weebly and other builders like that are an excellent choice. And then, you know, maybe somewhere down the line, you either gain more skills where you can use something like WordPress, or you can hire someone to build a website for you as well. How do you decide what to choose? So the first thing you'll want to think about is, what do you want to accomplish with your website? I would make a list of the most important things, like the top 3 things that you want your website to do, and think long term, because typically you will only redo your website like once every 3 to 5 years. Of course, you'll be updating it, you know, and that kind of thing. Maybe you won't ever redo it. Maybe you'll always just update it. But yeah, you want to think long term, because like I mentioned in the first video, it's a big investment, or it should be, in your business. It's often the place that people will connect with you first, or will connect with you on an ongoing basis, and it should be thought of as like a digital version of your physical space. So you want to think about your main goals. Some ideas for that are like, I need it to be easy for me to use. That's the number 1 goal. I need to be able to update it easily and quickly. I need it to not be frustrating. I want it to be easy for me. Number 2 could be something like, it ranks high in search results. So what does the builder need to have in order for it to rank high in search results? I want it to be beautiful. I want to sell stuff online. That's another big one. If you want to sell stuff online, you'll want to make sure that the website builder that you choose has that capability and that it can do it well. Okay, next up is cost. So every website builder comes with a cost, pretty much no matter what, other than maybe some of the free sites with like AMTA or ABMP. And I won't be discussing those here, but they are some that you could look into. You could ask all of these questions that I've listed out of those sites. You know, how are they performing? What's the cost or no cost? You know, what do you lose by not having a cost? That kind of thing. Each builder or website, you will want to make sure that you understand what their cost includes. So making sure that it does support what your goals are and what your needs are around each site, and also just thinking about the hosting component. So things like Squarespace and Weebly and Wix, they all have hosting included, but things like WordPress, you have to have hosting set up separately. So those things are important to just understand, what are you getting for what you're paying for, and does it really cover your needs? All right, a little pro and con of each website builder that I've discussed so far. I decided to just keep it to 3 because honestly, Squarespace and Weebly and Wix and a lot of those builders are pretty similar to each other. And I think, other than cost, for the most part, you're kind of getting the same value from each one. So Squarespace is pretty popular. That's why I included it here. Some pros about Squarespace is that they have a bunch of pre-made templates that are really nice. I think that I've seen some really beautiful massage websites built on Squarespace, and I think it's a good choice for somebody who just wants something that's really easy to use and affordable. Squarespace is extremely easy to use. You can, like I mentioned before, you can choose an entire template. They have components that you can, just kind of drag and drop into where you need. Updating images is easy. Even popping in some of the search engine optimization components, like the backend metadata things that we'll talk about a little bit later in another video, is easy. It's pretty affordable. I would say for the plan that you would be looking at, it's like between $23 and $33 a month. And you can even get that cheaper if you pay annually. And then hosting is included. Some of the cons, I think, are performance, and I'm going to show you an example of what I mean by that in a second. But again, because it loads in so much information, just because you're loading in all of the code for the templates that are included, it slows the site down significantly. There's a little bit of a lack of flexibility. Like if there's something more complicated that you would like to do, like you want, some more custom design, or you really wish there was like some type of plugin that would connect one thing to another, or things like that. I think there's a little bit of a lack of flexibility with that. And again, like being able to really improve performance on those sites can be tough. And then the SEO options that you have there for like adding in what you need is pretty basic. Totally okay for a massage business website starting out. Again, nothing wrong with using one of these builders, just letting you know what the differences are. Weebly is another option, very similar to Squarespace, has all the same functionality as far as pre-made templates. It's easy to use, it's affordable, even more affordable than Squarespace. It's about $16 to $30 a month with hosting included. Again, you'll want to look at what you're getting for each of these plans. And the same here, you can actually even still get it cheaper if you pay annually. Cons are, again, the same exact things as Squarespace: performance, lack of flexibility, and then pretty basic SEO. My personal favorite is WordPress, and that's the one that I would recommend for when you are ready to invest in a really good website for your practice. Some of the pros, WordPress is very flexible and customizable. It depends on what types of plugins you choose to use as far as what your template options are. But there are many, many options for having pre-made templates, just like you do in Weebly and Squarespace with WordPress. So that it would give you even more options depending on what type of plugin you used. Again, it's very, very flexible. WordPress is a very well-known content management system, and there are tons of plugins that have been created to work with WordPress and make it do pretty much anything you could possibly want. It's affordable. WordPress is free, but you do have to sign up for a hosting plan with a host like HostGator, Bluehost, WP Engine. There's tons of hosts out there, and the costs vary depending on what type of functionality you're looking for. It can be as low as $3 a month to have your website hosting on one of these hosting platforms. And then one of the other pros that I think is a big one for looking at WordPress over like Weebly and Squarespace is performance. So depending on what types of plugins you use with your WordPress site, you can really boost up your performance and have like a super lightning speed fast site with WordPress. And it also has lots of customizable options for search engine optimization to make sure that your website shows up in the top search results. So WordPress is my favorite. I think it's the best choice for really like investing in a great website for your practice, because you have so many options. And even if you decided that you wanted to go a totally different direction down the line, WordPress would be able to support that, unlike Weebly and Squarespace, where you might be a bit more limited if you decided to pivot and have, go from just having like a service website to having an online store and that kind of thing. You have lots of options for online stores with WordPress. The cons for WordPress are probably what you figured out by now. It's more complicated. I would say it's definitely not usually a beginner level platform. It's pretty easy to learn everything you need to with YouTube videos and things like that for free. But if you're not technically inclined, or if that kind of thing just tends to frustrate the heck out of you, I would say it's probably something that you would need to get help with. This isn't a sales video, but I do offer website building, and we do use WordPress with a plugin called Breakdance or Oxygen, and it actually makes really beautiful websites that would be easy for you to maintain down the road. So even that's another option, is getting someone to build a WordPress site for you on using some plugins and design that's easy for you to maintain down the road. And then, your investment is just a little bit upfront, but then you still get to be in charge of it going forward. So, creating your own website with no technical skills, I would say using a builder like Squarespace or Weebly or Wix or something along those lines is the ideal situation for you. If you are a bit more tech savvy, or you have some development or design skills or want to learn those, then WordPress is an excellent choice. Or if you're looking to have someone build your website for you, I would say WordPress is the way to go. Okay, let me show you a couple of examples here of what I mean by the different builders. So I actually have a website that I built for my sister on Weebly. It's called Andy's Serving Staff, and she has basically a staffing agency for catering events. And this is the back end, so you can kind of see the inside bones of what building a Weebly site looks like. And all of these elements are really just drag and drop. Like, I could add an image in here very easily if I wanted to, or I could add some text. I could add a map, that kind of thing. I'm not going to do those things because I don't want to mess up her website. But I think the website's really nice. It has everything she needs. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with this site. It's beautiful and great, and it performs fine for what she needs. Some things that I was talking about before are, if you look at, this is Google's Page Speed Insights. It's kind of how you can measure the performance of a website in the terms of, what Google's looking at. So this is the mobile performance. And you can see that basically the performance level is pretty low. Like, we're at 52. I'd really like to see things at about, 80 or 90. And this is taking into account speed, how different elements load on the website, and other metrics, which you could read about if you'd like to. But yeah, basically there's a few things that aren't working so well on this site because of the builder itself for the most part. You can see on desktop it's a bit better. So 92 is great. The problem is that a lot of people, probably about 50% usually or more, are visiting websites on their mobile device. And so this is really, really important to search engines and also to your visitors. So that's one of the things that I don't love about these types of builders. And then the other thing that you can see here is, so on any website, I can show you really quick. We'll go out of this. On any website, you can go to see sort of the code by doing inspect, and then it'll show you if there are any issues. So you can click on these and it'll tell you different issues that it has, which won't mean a lot to you if you don't know much about website building. But basically, a lot of these builders also come with a lot of back-end type of errors that are okay. It's just they are kind of loading in from the templates. And that's not the best when it comes to search engine optimization and just generally like having a website that performs really well. I won't dive into all that technical stuff, but I think it's just one of the ways to kind of see the differences. Okay, and then I wanted to show you a Squarespace website. So I believe it was this one. I chose a random Squarespace website so that I could show you the performance. The performance looks a little different. Sometimes the way that Google gives you this info is different for different sites. I'm not sure why, but you can see those metrics down here. So Squarespace is even more low, 28 for mobile and 54 for desktop. So we're pretty low there. This could also have something to do with the size of images that were loaded into the site. So you want to make sure that your images are properly sized when you put them onto a website. They can't be too large or they'll slow down your site significantly. But it also has to do with the templates themselves, just kind of have really, really heavy code that doesn't load very quickly or well. And search engines look at that when they decide how to rank websites. And you can also take a look here and see we have some errors going on, not quite as many as Weebly, but and I can't tell you, I'm not a developer, what all of these have to do with the website builder itself, but I know that some of them do. Okay, and finally, I wanted to show you a website that I built for my niece who has a natural hair business here in Portland, Oregon. Family full of entrepreneurs. So this was built on WordPress using the website plugin. It's a website builder called Breakdance. You can look them up. They're awesome. And I'll try to include a link as well in the comments of the YouTube video. But basically this is the back end of that builder. So I didn't have a Squarespace one to show you, but I do have this one. So we're looking at inside the builder itself. This is WordPress with the Breakdance plugin. So I'm in the editor for Breakdance, and it is also a drag and drop editor. So I can actually go here to add, and it'll give me options to pull in different sections. There's a library where I can look through, what do I want? Payment icons. I could just add this to the page and it'll pull it in, and I'll have this whole section on the page. Or I could add a reviews section. So they have some pre-made templates. They even have full website designs, which is actually this entire website is a template. I actually didn't create any of this custom. It was just a template that I pulled in, and then I updated all the images and copied to be what my niece wanted it to be. So it's really beautiful as is. I didn't really need to change anything. And you can see there's different pages. So I can show you what her gallery page looks like. So it had all of this pre-built. Really nice. Even the movement was built in. Okay, and then we'll look at the performance for WordPress using Breakdance. And again, the plugins do significantly affect whether or not your WordPress site is going to perform well. But you can see that mobile results are great. We have 85. It's looking really good, and probably this would even be better. I put this website together super quickly, and so I wasn't necessarily resizing all the images the way they need to be quite yet, but I'm going to do that. And then you can see desktop is 91. So once I get those images all properly sized and kind of go back through and refine everything, this should actually be even higher. And then just so you can see, as far as the errors go, you don't see any going on up here. Not to say this is perfect, but it's pretty dang good. So yeah, that's one of the reasons I love WordPress, and I love the Breakdance builder. It's fairly new, but they've done a great job. And they also have a second builder called Oxygen that I also love to use. But Breakdance is by far the more user-friendly version. Okay, I know that's a bit technical for what we normally cover, but I hope that you took away some value from it. And if you haven't built a website yet, I think it is really important to consider, what the most important options or most important things are for your website for yourself. And yeah, if you just need to get something up and live and you just want it to be easy for you to use, then of course, using a website builder makes the most sense. Weebly, Squarespace, Wix, all of those are really good. If you're wanting something, more built to last, more search engine friendly, then I would recommend WordPress and either learning some of that stuff yourself or getting some help with it. And again, I offer those services, so you can always reach out to me. Or if you don't want to work with me for whatever reason, there are plenty of other website design and developers out there. And I'm sure you can find someone who is the right fit for you. Okay, so I wanted to tell you about what's up next. It is the Anatomy of a Great Massage Business Website Part 3, and we're going to talk about site structure and search engine optimization. When I say search engine optimization, I mean how to get your website to the top search results for the keywords that your ideal audience is searching for. So for instance, if I'm looking for a Ashiatsu massage in Portland, Oregon, I'm going to type in Ashiatsu massage near me or Ashiatsu massage Portland, Oregon, or best Ashiatsu massage Portland, Oregon. So if I were an Ashiatsu massage practitioner in Portland, Oregon, I would want to be showing up in the top of those search results. And that's what I'm going to talk about, how to do that in the next video. So we've been laying the foundation up to this point, and we will talk a little bit more about actually what goes into the website itself to make it show up in the top search results. I do already have a couple of videos on this, on keyword research and such, and you're welcome to look at those in the meantime. Again, I'm trying to put these up, a new part up every week. So you'll see that in about a week-ish. And in the meantime, you are welcome to check out my website for more information on these topics, massagebusinesshelp.com, or email me anytime with questions. I do offer 30-minute free consultations. So if you're just wondering if working with me might be a great idea, then you can email me to set that up, massagebusinesscoach@gmail.com, or follow my socials, Massage Business Coach on IG or Facebook. You can follow the page, The Business of Massage, or follow my account, Julie Campbell, befriend me. And please like, subscribe, share. I spend a lot of time and effort making these videos, and if you find value in them, I would love for you to tell your colleagues. It's so helpful to me to have, people actually engaging with the content I'm creating. So I appreciate you for being here, and I thank you for interacting with my videos. Please reach out anytime and have a great day. I'll see you next week for part 3.